Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach. We know that helping your clients become the best and healthiest versions of themselves isn't just about what they eat or coming to the gym a few hours a week. We, as gym owners and coaches, have to focus on a holistic approach, looking at support systems, stress management, sleep, mindset, lifestyle, and of course, exercise and nutrition. I'm your host, Nicole Coyne, registered dietitian and founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring. I'm also the author of The Basics of Nutrition Coaching, CrossFit Preferred Nutrition course. In this podcast, I'm going to teach you how to make one step at a time to becoming the best nutrition coach and building an awesome habit-based coaching program. All right, well, today's episode is with Kayla Pollock. She is a registered dietitian. She owns her own gym with her husband, Andrew, and runs a successful nutrition program. She also heads up the coach development at Healthy Steps Nutrition Mentoring, specifically the Coaching the Coaches program. In today's episode, we talk about some of the things that sets this training course, this CrossFit Preferred course, apart from any other course that's offered out there. We talk about why we teach the way we teach and how we talk about a habit-based approach and incorporating a holistic framework into your coaching program. I'm so excited to announce that Coaching the Coaches is now a part of the curriculum for the Basics of Nutrition Coaching course. We talk about all of the details with that program and what you can expect as someone going through that training program. I hope you enjoy this episode with Kayla. And so don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review. It really helps this podcast reach more people. All right, enjoy. Kayla, welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast.
Thanks for having me back. I always love being here.
So excited to chat with you because, man, you have been busy the past few months. We launched this CrossFit Preferred Nutrition course back in 2020, and we've taken all of the feedback we've got from it and then all of the best practices that we are doing with mentoring and have kind of restructured some things. So I want to first talk about high-level overview. There's quite a few different nutrition education certifications and trainings out there. Like, let's talk about high-level overview. Like, what makes this preferred nutrition course different than some of the other things? So what is the high-level overview of the Basics of Nutrition Coaching CrossFit Preferred Nutrition course?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the first thing that really stands out is we focus on a habit-based approach. And I think that's so important. And I know way back when, before HSN, my own nutrition program at my gym, that was a huge missing piece. The habit-based approach is so important because we can help clients change their lifestyles to have sustainable results and meet those long-term goals.
No, I think when people reach out and want help with nutrition, I don't know about you. I mean, you're a dietitian as well, but the first question I always get, like, hey, can I get a meal plan? I literally just got off a call with a gym owner and he was like, do you just give out recipes every day? Like, what am I giving my clients? I'm like, well, actually, you don't want to just give a meal plan or macros to people because then they feel like they failed if they don't follow that piece of paper, or they failed if they go over on their macros for the day. And likely they're going over anyways because they're not measuring out their food.
1,000%.
Well, like, let's set this program up for success and make it easy for coaches to implement and even easier for clients to stick to.
And that's the thing, easy for the clients to stick to. A meal plan is not teaching them the habits and making those lifestyle changes for that long-term success. It's really just creating food fatigue and excess stress on these are the only things I can eat and I have to eat perfectly this way. And the same with macros. I think that's the one I commonly get is, what are my macros? How many calories? How much protein? Always about the protein. Am I eating too many carbohydrates? And again, we go back and I ask, well, why is that so important to you? And how is that going to help you find success into the goals that you're describing to me? And oftentimes that's when they get quiet and they're like, yeah, I don't know, it hasn't been working. So again, we get to go back into I want to help you make a lifestyle change. So whether it's 3 months from now or 3 years from now, you have all the tools that you need to confidently achieve your goal.
I love it. And the truth is when we are helping with clients and just one habit at a time, getting consistent with that one thing. And in the Healthy Steps Nutrition app, it's super easy to see, are they being consistent? You have a compliance score. When you're consistent with one thing, you're 80% more successful to maintain that one thing a year later. Two things, if you try to change two things at one time, and I can tell you that when I started coaching clients, there were many times that we were changing 2, 3, 4 things at one time because I didn't realize the impact of that. You're less than 30% successful in three things, less than 5% success rate maintaining those three things after a year. And I can think of many challenges, many different diet plans out there, many different supplement companies that have you change so much at one time and you're really good. You see really good success with those 30 days or 45 days or 75 days. But then after that, you're right back to where you started because you didn't truly make a sustainable change.
Yes. And I want to just take a second to talk a little bit, dive deeper into that, because I've told clients these exact stats when they say, well, this is all I'm going to focus on. All you want me to do is increase my hydration goal a day. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I want. And they get a little uncomfortable. And I break out those stats, and I've had a few people challenge me, well, why? And I've been able to relate it back to when we're new drivers. Right? When we're new at driving, we are death gripping the wheel and we're checking all of our mirrors all the time because it's something new. And we need that executive functioning, the forefront of our brain, to help us figure out what we're doing and make sure we're doing all the right things. But as time goes on, we don't need to put that much attention into our driving. While we should, we don't need to, because it's become second nature. It's become something easy for us to do. And that's how I want any habit to feel. But again, if we're focusing on too many things at once, it's hard to gain that confidence with the one thing, and it's never going to stick. And then a year from now, you completely forgot to keep up with your hydration goal or whatever it is you were working on. And I think it's so, so important to remind clients why that's important.
I love it. So hopefully everyone listening to this is like, all right, I need to slow down what I'm talking about with my clients to speed up their progress. Fantastic. The next thing that I think really separates, the training and the framework that we have at Healthy Steps Nutrition is we use this holistic framework. And it's definitely evolved over the years. I can tell you that when I started Healthy Steps Nutrition, I did not focus on a lot of these things as much as I should have. And it came from trial and error and realizing like, what is the most important thing to help my clients be successful with, long-term, become the best versions of themselves. And for every person, they needed help with something a little bit different. Like we're all different people. And depending on the season of their life, we focus on different things. And sometimes it had nothing to do with nutrition. And I'll give you an example. Stress has been, at the forefront of a lot of people's lives recently, especially over the past 2 years. People are struggling mentally. They've got a lot of things out of their control. And I don't know about you, but I like things in my control. And when they're not, I don't like it, which causes a little bit of stress. So if I manage my stress by eating and I'm constantly stressed, no matter what macros, meal plan, or habits I'm working on, I am still going to manage my stress with eating if that's how I manage my stress. So I need to work with a coach to help identify other ways to manage stress and be proactive and listen to my body and listen to myself like, oh, I know I'm stressed right now. I need to go outside, go for a walk, listen to an audible, listen to loud music, like do something else to manage my stress so I don't find myself in the kitchen. And I think it's even more important as people are working at home because our kitchens are more accessible than ever. I mean, that's one pillar of the holistic framework, looking at, stress management, sleep, support system, mindset, lifestyle, exercise, and of course, nutrition. But what would you say is something that you have been surprised about as you're coaching clients and just your journey becoming a dietitian? Because you actually started nutrition coaching long before you were a dietitian.
I did.
And, kind of learning in school what we were taught, and now like all this practice that you've had, and now you actually head up our coach development program. What are some things that you've realized?
So I think when I think back to early nutrition coaching for me, that I really didn't dive into the holistic approach, but then also all the schooling that we go through to become dietitians, we miss a lot of these aspects and it feels so silly to me. And sleep is one of those things that really, really stands out. And I have been shocked at how many people aren't considering their sleep when we talk about the overall view or the overall framework of our health and wellness. We know that when we're not sleeping, that stress hormone cortisol is going up. We know that ghrelin, the hormone that makes us feel hungry, goes up, and then leptin, which helps us feel satisfied and full, goes down. It is the perfect storm when we're not getting enough sleep to reaching for more of those pantry snacks if they're close by, and more so of those easy to grab processed sugars that are going to give us that quick energy because our bodies are tired. And that was just something often overlooked. So I've been really the last few months really honing in with all of my clients. What's your sleep hygiene look like? What time are we going to bed? How are you feeling when you wake up? And really just moving everything around that focus, because if that's not okay, everything else feels a little bit harder.
Oh my gosh. I love that you brought up sleep, because I know that this is something that we've been intentional with providing coaches more education around this over the past, 4 months. We had Dr. Danny Urkuyo come in and do a training that was so good. Even the coaches were like, man, I'm learning a lot about myself during this training. And one of the things that stood out to me the most during that sleep stress training that he did was, if you have a night where you have less than 4 hours of sleep in 2 consecutive nights, like your blood markers start looking like you're pre-diabetic. Your fasting blood sugar is elevated. And if your fasting blood sugar is elevated, then your whole day, your blood sugar is just going to be elevated more and more and more. It causes more inflammation, right? So, if we're looking at our goal as coaches is to help people live their best lives and prevent disease, like sleep is something that we have to prioritize to help our clients prevent disease.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And it's really been all the educational seminars and all the resources HSN has provided to give me the confidence to talk about these things and give action steps for my clients. Because again, in my schooling, that wasn't a big highlight, which is so silly to think about missing on that mark.
I will say one of the incredible things that I love about where we are in the program, in the mentoring program, and just like providing all the support, is we've gotten some really cool opportunities to bring in some awesome experts to talk. We had Dr. Greg Wells, who wrote the Precision Nutrition, Sleep, Stress, and Recovery. We had Danny Urkuyo, who is the Steady MD medical director, come in talking about stress and sleep. So it's definitely been a priority. And I can tell that more coaches are prioritizing this, because at the end of the day, if our clients are sleeping better, they're going to be less stressed, and then they're probably going to make better decisions, right? So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that is a big thing. And one of the other pieces that I think we all as coaches really need to be mindful of is the support system that our clients are surrounded with, because this wasn't something that I prioritized as much until we started the Nutrition Made Simple podcast, and we started interviewing all these people that lost 50, 100, 200 pounds. And the running theme between all of them was, my family members, my coworkers, my friends all supported me on the journey. Yes, the coach helped. Yes, the coach was the guide, but the people who were surrounding that client on a day-to-day basis when that coach wasn't around were positively enforcing all of the healthy habits and helping that client stay on track. And, as coaches, I think that we have a responsibility to help our clients, picture, what does success look like for you, and who are the people that are supporting you? And let's talk about the 5 people you're closest with. Like, are they supporting you? I know,
Yep.
like, you're super intentional with who you hang out with and who's around you in your circle. And sometimes we have to say, like, okay, wait a second, maybe I need to take a break or take a pause from this person and bring someone else closer that's going to actually help me. And those conversations, like, I know you've role played with clients to go through those conversations to help them feel confident talking to their support system so that they can understand how to support that client.
Yes. One of the things I like to highlight is not only the support system, those in our inner circle that are helping us towards our goals, and being in like my gym, for example, I know as soon as I walk in, I'm surrounded by those individuals, but we all have those individuals that are important in other areas of our life that may be obstacles for health and wellness goals. And I love really highlighting those people, and yes, navigating, okay, if your wife, for example, and this is a real client I work with, is doing all the grocery shopping and cooking all the dinner, and she's very heavy with those higher fat meats and not always offering those non-starchy veggies, how can we talk with her about your goals and why it's so important so we can all get on the same page? And 9 out of 10 times, I will invite that obstacle person in their support system who's very important in their inner circle to our next meeting. And we get to talk about that. And I'm just there facilitating, guiding the conversation until we can all leave that meeting feeling confident with our roles in order to achieve whatever goal we're talking about.
I love it. And the people surrounding your client truly love them. They
Mhm.
probably just don't know how to support them, or they're like the opposite of like yelling at the client every time they do something they shouldn't do, which is going to cause friction between them. So, it's navigating like, what does success look like for you having your spouse on board? Is it the grocery shopping? Is it, going for a walk after dinner? Like, what does success look like to you, so that we can help navigate that conversation? And I love that you bring spouses in, or whoever that person is, into the conversation, help facilitate that. 'Cause sometimes it's awkward for clients. So if we can
Oh,
help
yeah.
facilitate that, then that's amazing.
Yes.
So, focusing on that holistic approach is so, so important. But then, after we understand the fundamental basis of habit-based coaching, how all of these things interact with each other to help our clients reach their goals, then we need to talk about application. Like, how do we deliver something? How do we keep clients engaged and retained? I don't know about you, but when I started Healthy Steps Nutrition, I thought that I could sit down with someone, do a power hour is what I called it, and like basically fire hose information at them. And I wondered why they left looking like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, like, oh my gosh, I just sat in, the console of craziness, telling them way too much information. So,
Mhm.
there are some best practices, and it really comes down to what we talked about at the beginning: slowing down what you provide to clients, just giving them a little bit at a time so that you can speed up the progress. And I think a lot of times, especially with new coaches, what I see is they want to help so much that they end up trying to provide too much information, and it overwhelms people.
Yes, every single coach and dietitian has done this at some point, myself included. One of the things, and I have a beautiful privilege of meeting all the new coaches that come through, and I get to work with them. And one common thing I hear is, well, they're not following through on their action steps, one, because they're overwhelming them, or two, I hear a few months down, well, I've given them everything, so they don't need me anymore. And at that point, I'm like, wait a second, let me ask you, what's your true value as a nutrition coach? And I kind of get those big eyes and the silence, because a lot of us think we have to show our clients all of our cards, show them that we know all the things. And it's our job to come up with some mind-blowing action step or resource every single time that they come in. And that is far, far from the truth. And Nicole, you've been such a huge help in helping me realize my own value as a nutrition coach within my program.
I love that. There has to be some value appraisal, right? Like, what is the value that you're providing? I mean, I have a client that has been with me for 8 years. 8 years. I promise you, I am not giving her anything special, anytime that we meet, but she knows that I'm going to follow up. I'm going to keep her accountable, and she has someone to check in with. Like, how much does accountability mean to you as you're moving towards your goals? Because what happens when we don't have that accountability, we end up falling off the wagon, and we end up taking a few steps back. And your clients don't want to do that. They worked really hard to see the results. And, I think when it comes down to engaging and retaining your clients, if you're not confident with the value you provide beyond just education or telling someone what to do, it is going to be really tough to keep your clients engaged and retained. And they need that support long-term to see good results.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I like to explain to those coaches who are trying to figure out what their value is. I tell them, imagine you're the safety net and your client is just going down, and you're the safety net that's never going to let them fall too far off track to the path they're trying to stay on in order to reach their goal. And when I usually say you're just the safety net, right? They kind of big breath, they calm down, and they see it. Yes, it's not how knowledgeable you are. People don't really care how much you know, but they care how much you can help them. And so reminding ourselves that our value as a coach is, one, building good rapport. We're in the relationship business. And two, keeping our clients accountable to doing what they said that they're going to do. Just because we know what to do doesn't make us great doers.
Exactly. I think this is such an important piece of the puzzle. And to be honest, one of the reasons why we recommend an initial 12-week commitment when you're working with individual clients, because it gives you time to build that rapport, time to actually provide that accountability and support, right? Like your clients, something in life will happen in 12 weeks and they're going to fall off and they're going to need you to help them get back on track. And that allows you to show you the value that you're not just an information center, you're really there to support them becoming the best version of themselves, whatever that looks like to them. And they need to define that. I love it. All right, let's move down. So, when we talk about keeping clients engaged and retained, and then we also talk about scaling a nutrition coaching program, because all of this up until now, like you can easily build this on your own, right? Like you can do this, you can keep clients engaged or retained. You got 3 clients, 5 clients. All right, now they're telling a friend. Now all of them have invited one friend to join your nutrition coaching program. Now all of a sudden you have 10 friends, 10 people wanting to be a part of your program, then 15, then 20. Now you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed because I don't have systems. And systems are the key to scaling and growing a nutrition coaching program. And systems is thrown around a lot. Like, okay, you need systems. Like, what does that really mean for you as a gym owner, as a nutrition coach? Like, what do systems mean in the realm of nutrition coaching?
Yeah, the first one of my favorite things to talk about is going to be how I actually keep my clients in a system, keep them organized. So then I'm organized as a coach, would be having the HSN app, which is a great educational tool for my clients. It allows me to message them. It allows me to track their habits and consistency to make sure that we are building those lifestyle changes to reach long-term goals. So that would be the first one that is really important to the scalability of my own program.
I think that's a huge one. I know the reason why the Healthy Steps Nutrition app exists is because I was struggling with clients texting, Facebook messaging, emailing me, and I was spending so much time between those in-person visits trying to figure out what we talked about. So like they would come in for their follow-up and it would take me 30 minutes to go back through all of the forms of communication between that month to figure out what did we even talk about to get you back on track and figure out what happened between those in-person visits. And also, I didn't really have a streamlined way to keep them accountable between those in-person visits. Now they check off habits. I can see compliance in the app. It's super easy. It's streamlined. I got all my people in one place, simple. And at the end of the day, you as a coach need something that's simple so that you can deliver really good results. I think another thing when it comes to systems is being able to consistently give out a professional experience to your clients or deliver a professional experience. I remember when I started HSN, I would like handwrite like what the client resources were. And I think back and I laugh now, but you got to start somewhere. So that's where I started. And now it's all these professional resources that you help create. The team of dietitians helps to create these resources so that you're giving your client something tangible. It's not an informal conversation anymore. Mm-hmm. And then there's the education piece in the Healthy Steps Nutrition app.
Oh, absolutely. So one of the ones I think, the last 2 months, for some reason, we are all about balanced snacks. That is one of my favorite client resources that HSN has. That first page, it's got amazing tips on how to balance your snacks. And the second page are actual snacks, actual balanced snacks, and little graphics to show the examples. And it's been really helpful to just simply pull out that resource that HSN provides. I'm not wasting my time making all of them, though I could if I wanted on my own, right? It saves me time. I pull it out, I walk through, and now the client using that resource knows exactly what they should be thinking about, what they should be doing before they leave my office, which is setting them up for more success, which makes them want to stay working with me longer.
Absolutely. Helps build your authority, right? Like you're able to provide them the education that they need at that moment. You're not giving all resources out at one time. Although they are all available to you, you don't give them all out one time. Because again, let's go back. We'll overwhelm them with trying to do too many habits at one time. It's not going to work very well. So, you've got these educational resources. We've got marketing materials. Like all of this is built out in the basics course. There's even more in the mentoring platform. The last stage of the basics course is this wrap up call with you where there's a little bit of role playing and you're also just helping them create this plan, right? Like what do you want? What does success look like for you as you build your business? And for every person, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, again, this is such a unique position that I have to talk with these people who are super excited coming out of the basics course. And I ask a lot of the hard questions. Well, we start at the beginning. What are the back end system business related things that you need to get in place, whether it's insurance, whether it's a program to keep your clients engaged, where you're getting your information from so you know that it's trusted. I ask all of these things, and we dive into marketing material. And after they leave the wrap up call, they actually get to leave with marketing material that they can start utilizing as they step into launching their program. So we get to go in, we get a whole hour together. I get a lot of questions on it. Well, I see that you guys did this, but how can it actually fit in my program or the business model that I want to create? Because we're just giving the guides, right? All the resources, all the recommendations. It's a guide to help you create the program that you're excited to see.
I love it. And for every person, it's a little bit different, right? Like there's so many people that start their nutrition business because they're passionate about nutrition. They want to do a little side hustle and then slowly build it into a full-time career, whatever success looks like to them. Like we're just there to support that. I want to switch gears a little bit to talk about something new. We actually launched it last year for mentoring and it worked out so well. You and I had a conversation at the end of last year and we're like, what if we added this for mentoring? Let's talk about what that looks like. What is it?
Yes. So it is the Coaching Coaches program. And Nicole, of all the things I've had the pleasure of doing at HSN, this is by far my favorite. We have seen over the years that the most successful programs are the ones led by gym owners or nutrition coaches who have experienced the habit-based approach firsthand. They're learn, see, and do, right? There is nothing better than going through the process and feeling things firsthand before launching and going out there to try the coaching on your own.
So this actually came organically. Actually, we had a gym owner a while ago on the podcast and he signed up as a client and he was going through the process of nutrition coaching as a client as he was going through the mentoring program. So as he was going through the online modules, the mentoring training calls, all of that. And he's like, I'm learning it in the online modules. I'm seeing it from a client's perspective. I can much more confidently do it and help my coaches launch with confidence. And we're like, man, and I think at one point he said, you should make this mandatory. And I put that in the back burner. I'm like, we don't change things we go quickly, but there'll be a lot of changes that need to happen. We need to have someone head up this Coaching the Coaches program. And luckily you're like, Nicole, please let me do it. Like I want to do this. And it's been amazing. So, the cool thing is, and you think about it from a CrossFit perspective, right? Like I couldn't imagine going to my L1 or my L2 and doing that course without doing CrossFit first. I know there are some people that have done that, but it is so much easier for me to learn stuff because I'm doing it. Like I've been a part of CrossFit for a while before going through my L1, but imagine not doing that, how much tougher it would be for you to become a coach, a confident coach.
Oh yeah, we in our facility, when we're demonstrating a movement, for example, we verbalize the goal of the movement, what it should look like. We show them what the movement will look like, but then we also provide tactile cues. So our people, our athletes can feel, oh, I want you to keep your knees out. So we might do something, or I want you to keep your chest up, shoulders back, something like that. And we give them those physical cues so they can feel what they're doing. And so in that, they're learning in 3 different ways to connect it all together to make sure they're getting the most out of it and doing what they should be doing. And that's kind of how I think about this Coaching Coaches.
There's so many different courses out there. And I've seen so many coaches. Like we have some coaches that have taken every single nutrition coaching course online before signing up for mentoring. And they say, I have the knowledge. I don't know how to put it into usable format. And I can't picture like the processes and I need to experience it. Like I need some systems and I want to experience it. And this really ties everything together. So you can see it. You can see like, I really like this. And I want to take this other piece that I learned from something else or something that I got coaching for in another previous lifetime and take that and add that because it was super valuable. And I think that's how you put your own personal flair on the coaching experience that you want to deliver. that at the end of the day, you will much more confidently launch a program when you are experiencing it from a client's perspective. So we are so excited to be launching Coaching the Coaches. Now it's going to be included in the investment of the basics course. So someone signs up for the basics course. Basically, the process is going to be they'll get immediate access to the training course, and then they're going to be connected with you or another coach to get coaching for 3 whole months. So they'll be able to ask questions during those calls, of course, but then also be able to experience it from a client's perspective.
Yes. So to share just a little bit more about what you can expect with this, we're going to implement about 90% of our time together is going to be going through your own nutrition journey. I want to know about you, your past and your future goals, so we can create the sustainable plan step by step to help you achieve them. The last 10% of all of our calls, and we'll meet every 2 weeks, is going to be dedicated to understanding the hows and the whys behind any of the recommendations. First one, for example, we do a reflection of what kind of questions did you notice during the initial consultation? And we get to talk about motivational interviewing and how those skills are really important in our nutrition model here. And then we get to explain the hows and whys and the importance behind building a competent linear path. So we're not just telling our clients what to do, but helping them figure out exactly how to do it until they're confident. So every single time we get to meet, we get to talk about your goals, your action steps, your consistency over the last 2 weeks. And then we dive into why some of the pieces you'll see in the meetings are happening and how to get the most out of them.
I'm so excited about this. This has been long overdue, in my opinion. You know, a lot of times we launch things slowly with mentoring, and then the really, some of the stuff gets passed on to another program. And this one, I'm just super excited. You're going to do such an amazing job to help these coaches graduate with confidence so that they can start helping people in their community so much faster. Kayla, any final thoughts as we wrap up here? Any different, suggestions or action steps that you would give someone listening to this podcast?
I would say take the time to think about what kind of program and what kind of results you want to help your clients see. Get into the basics course and get ready to hang out with me for the next 3 months for some nutrition coaching. And of course, the coaching coaches are the whys behind the recommendations.
I love it. Kayla, thank you so much for all you do. You are the perfect person to head this up with, dietitian experience, coaching experience, but then also the mentoring experience, helping all of these coaches launch with confidence. So thank you.
Thank you. Can I mention one more thing?
Sure.
After the wrap-up call, what about those clients who love the basics, love coaching coaches so much that they want more? What does that look like?
Yeah. So one of the things that we're working on is being able to actually help people if they want to take the next step and get mentoring, get ongoing support, which in my opinion is where the real magic happens, to not only help you launch, but help you grow and establish partnerships. I know so many HSN gyms right now are really working on corporate wellness, right? Like they are so excited to get out into the community. So one of the things that we're working on right now is being able to credit people that sign up for the basics course to actually get in mentoring and be able to credit some of the investment that they made. So super excited. And by doing that, they're going to be able to have additional training calls and the HSN app and ongoing mentoring support to help grow their nutrition coaching programs.
Amazing.
I hope you enjoyed that episode with Kayla. My biggest piece of advice to gym owners looking to add a nutrition coaching program or nutrition coaches that are just getting started off the ground is understand the value of your nutrition coaching program. You're not just there to deliver education. To be honest, your clients can look that up online. You are there to provide them simple, actionable steps that are realistic for them, things that they can commit to, things that are important for them to work on, and most importantly, keeping them accountable to those action steps. When we look at the most successful nutrition coaching programs, it's not just delivering education and having a lecture for nutrition. You really are building rapport and keeping your clients accountable to what they can commit to. One of the biggest questions I get asked is, what is the difference between HSN Mentoring and the Basics of Nutrition Coaching CrossFit Preferred Nutrition course? I think it's important to help you listeners understand. If you are a gym owner looking for all of the business systems, the turnkey solution to build a successful nutrition coaching program, HSN Mentoring is the best route for you. In that program, you get 2 subscriptions to the online course, one for the owner, one for the coach. We teach you the business systems, give you all the marketing support, and also have the nutrition coaching education. The Basics of Nutrition Coaching course is in the mentoring program. So you have all of the education to teach the fundamental skills to become an effective nutrition coach, but then you also get the app, all the tools and resources, ongoing new education to help develop you as a coach. The biggest piece, and the things we hear from all of our mentoring clients who've been around for 5, 6, 7 years, is they say the best value comes from the mentoring, comes from the accountability. The truth is we all need a coach. Yes, the systems are great, but a lot of times you get distracted by all the different ideas that you have. So having someone help you and keep you accountable based on best practices, things that are going on, is gonna help you be able to grow and scale your program, especially as you're adding new nutrition coaches to support the growth of your program. All right, I hope that was super helpful. If you have any questions at all, if you're a gym owner who's looking to add a nutrition coaching program, we would love to help you. Click the link in the show notes and you can book a free call with me. If you are looking to sign up for the Basics of Nutrition Coaching course, go ahead and click the link in the show notes. You can sign up right there. You'll get immediate access to that course and we will set you up with coaching the coaches. All right, thank you for tuning in. I hope that we get to have a chance to chat with you again next week. Make sure that you subscribe and leave us a review. It really helps this podcast reach more people. Have a great week.